continue to flow in quiet stillness. Along the way, the phone's battery stopped at 97% for no clear reason. It was a tiny fluctuation, never meant to be recorded. Yet this program gathers only those small, meaningless shifts. Meaning optional.
First, I found it by the Genghis Khan Festival in Hokkaido. So I'm talking about it with my mom. I told her that there are many types of Genghis Khan, and I asked her if supermarkets there are many kinds too. She said there are many kinds, but I said our family always ate the same kind. She said there are many parts of the meat, but I said ours was mixed. She rarely said that. Then I asked her if it's the mix of different kind of tofu, kind of meat, and she said no. She said it's the same part, the shoulder roast. She said that I don't get it well. So I asked her if she bought different kind before, and I just didn't notice, or if cheap meat is mostly just shoulder roast. I asked her that. Then she first said she bought cheap meat, but next she started saying she bought different kind. So I asked if there were other parts than shoulder roast and cheap meat. Then she started saying it was rump or mutton. It's not about the part of the meat. This is just a short row. But we talked for more than 10 minutes about this. It's no messy. And since my phone was in the first row, I was writing it down. It's pain, so I just wrote down the flow of the talk quickly. I asked her what we were talking about just now, but she can't remember. Does this happen normally? Wasting more than 10 minutes in a strange story and to talk about it in the podcast I worked with her for 10 minutes about what we talked about. So she knows completely that I'm writing it down and talking about it in the podcast. Also, I asked her about videos, and there was a feeling like I saw this before. Like the story I heard today, it was different. And there are about 10 videos in the favorite. But I thought it's strange because there should be more. I asked if this is already all of them, and if this isn't enough. She doesn't understand such a simple thing at all. I broke it down so she could understand. I said, if this is all of them, there should be 10 videos, but there are only 10 videos here, right? What does this mean? Are they all here in the visual videos or in the festival? Right? If so, do you see the videos are missing? I asked, is it exactly the same as before? She started saying she doesn't know yet. This is clear at a glance. So I asked what this means, since there are only about 10 videos. There is, as far as I can see, I couldn't understand either. So I asked the talk never becomes good. The story don't much at all. I'm breaking it down like I'm talking to a small kid, and she probably it's something she wanna say too, but she doesn't try to understand my story at first, so it doesn't get across at all. I'm explaining it so even a small kid can understand. First, I want to understand my story, find out my question, and answer it. So it's her own word and try to finish everything inside it. In the end, I found out that many videos are inside each one. So what she said at first was completely different. So next story, this is a sudden story about deep things, but humans look back at what they did just before and make it better. You can never make the things better unless you look back at what you did just before, but you only think about what's right in front of you. It means you can't think about what's right in front of you when you make things better. But when I was a student, I never looked back at what I did just before. Looking back at what you did just before every time it's hard, unless you worry too much about small things. Usually you are busy with what's right in front of you. So you can do that, like I said before. I feel like I was being rushed by something and I couldn't arrive at my own pace because that I didn't care about small things, but now I care too much about small things, and it doesn't become just right. People in the world think everyone becomes well balanced. Too many people think so, but there are definitely people who aren't like that. Also, it's unique to Japanese people. It's culture where doing things just right is correct. To go back to the story, when I was a student, I didn't think about making small parts better in a smart way. It felt like I was just doing everything with guys and working hard blindly. Maybe that's fine because I was the student, but there was a much bigger change than now. It's funny because I say two different things, right? If you don't look back or make what you did just before, but you say no chance. You say no change happened. But when I was a student, there was a huge change. When I was a student, was I thinking only about what's right in front of me? From other side, I was already thinking about the future and the past. If you care too much, but small things like I'm saying now, you look back at what you did just before. But when I was a student, I didn't do that. But I worried about the future or got stuck in the past. As I get older, that kind of things goes away more and more. In a way, maybe I was changing when I was a student. I thought so many times before, if you work hard blindly on what's right in front of you, you want to change, because the thought to change doesn't work. When humans change, their mind works, meaning the thought works and reach there. Since that's not there at all, there's no way to change. You have no choice but to act according to your feelings. If your behavior change without thinking, that's big problem. As a living things, it's a matter of life and death. If things change without your mind working, it's scary. For example, when you walk on a road and notice you went down a side path, that's never happened, right? It's a different story if you are drinking. When I was a student, I didn't have routines, rules, or small things. When you think only about what's right in front of you. You don't make things better or change by yourself, but you don't notice that your behavior is changing because the place or situation, because I didn't care about small things. I was just thinking about what's right in front of me, and I didn't know what kind of habit I had, because everything was always changing. That's why Ichiro said, because see as a routine, you can notice even a small change in his body. In my case, I didn't notice even if my behavior changed at all since I got sickness where I worry about small things too much. I started keeping my routine. Next story. I'm not a cook and it's not good if I do things that are too different from others but meals. About tofu without putting anything on it. Before I used to put salt and boil it, but really without putting anything on it, just warming it in the microwave make it taste better and I don't get tired of it. For tempura too, I don't put anything on it, like grated radish or dipping it in sauce with ginger. It tastes much better that way. I thought my taste is a bit different from others, but that means I must not trust what experts say at all. I shouldn't trust anyone. My feeling is different from others, and once I found out it's better to do things my own way, no matter what anyone says, I can't believe I can't believe anyone's word right? Another things I can't believe it's increased again. Next story because I couldn't find a job. I looked for a job I could do for more than 10 years, but I couldn't find one. So I sometimes give up hope, but sometimes I think this was the right answer when I was 20 years old. The reason I forgot why I thought so, but I thought the reason doesn't matter. It's inside the head, right? It's different from the fact. It's what I'm thinking inside my head over the world. So it doesn't matter, but it becomes energy. The reason why I act, that kind of thinking is important. This is a story, but it's clear from his story that he has a reason for each action. She probably says so himself, and I once wonder if that is any meaning in the end. I thought there might be reason made up later, but I thought what kind of reason you have to act becomes very important in the long run. It might crash a bit, but in the end, the mind is nothing but making a reason later. So it's making a story. And from story, a human mind doesn't keep the past, future, and the present separate. It connects them to make a story. Like a whole story with a start and an end. I mean, it's memory, because the future and the past are making a story and cause an effect by using imagination and a bit of what's right in front of you. People see things by cause and effect. For example, if I keep walking like this, I'll be here in 3 seconds. Or if I try to hand something to someone, they'll try to take it, right? But you think that happened before their action, right? You think making a story happen before the action, before you act, from the talk of cause and effect just now. It's scary, isn't it? Even if I say it's scary, I don't think it gets across. But for example, you think like the right is right, so I'll stop the car now, right? You think the mind floats like you see red right. Think you must step on the brake. Try to step on the brake after seeing the red right and step on it. But actually humans think so. They think so. But they just think so. Actually it's different. Before you think about stepping on the brake, there are two choices of whether to step on the brake or not, and to put it simply, it's decided by those two sides choices. But it's not the conscious mind that decided. It's a deep mind without thinking. It's strange, but that's how it is. We are just mistaken. We don't stop because we think consciously to stop at a red light. Without thinking, we think we should stop, push the brake, and after pushing the brake, we make up a story that we pushed the brake because we wanted to push it now. To compare it company, the worker talk about among themselves and decide everything before the boss comes. So by the time the boss comes, it's already decided. Usually you think the boss has the right to decide, but humans are different. By the time the boss comes, no worker might be there, and there's no bad story like that. No, it's not bad. Humans are just mistaken. They think the boss is moving the body. I thought humans make up stories a lot. For example, having hope. Having hope is a story about the future, right? On the other hand, having a goal is a story about action. Action is just the action. But you make up a story or fake things like, I do this for this goal, or I can become like this. It's not a fact. Hope is the same. You think it's right in front of you, but it's only inside your head, and there is no such thing. So humans keep turning their eyes away from what's right in front of them, but they're saved by that. I'll talk about this later too. But humans are saved by stories. But I was broken by stories. So when I stopped writing stories, I was saved. Also, writing oneself go is the same. Writing oneself go comes after giving up hope. But that was written in a story too. Giving up hope itself is a story. Because you see right behind it. Reading oneself go is the same. It's soft. If a human really goes down to the very bottom, they don't have this room to let themselves go. You can imagine that. In my case, for these 10 years, it's been fine to let myself go, but I could let myself go during the religion days. No, I never did. But people who quit religion live somehow, and they run to another side or let themselves go, or get angry or run to another spiritual thing. It's one of them. They are all writing stories because they are looking for meaning. Also, making a change means looking for meaning, and a story it's looking for meaning. Making a change means you think something is waiting behind it. Also, getting tired of something and changing because that is there too. But that's without thinking, so it was nothing to do with it. Or it's looking for meaning. You think something new is waiting if something could change. Because that about religion. Next about religion about the show name lately, I thought it's better not to bring up religion after all, but I end up there anyway. I think the reason why the two of us can stand here now might be thanks to religion too. I knew that from before. Usually people go back and forth, or they believe in that kind of story, or though I don't think it's common, they completely feel nothing matters. I haven't seen many people like that. I haven't seen anyone who feels nothing matters as much as I do. Also, people who say they don't believe and things they can't see, don't understand what they can't see well, and they often say it randomly. They're like halfway realist. Mostly that people are just acting cool. In my case, after all, during the religion stage, I looked for meaning to the extreme for 20 years. At the end of that 20 years of looking for meaning completely, I think a frame for living was made that doesn't need meaning at all. Then what was behind it was first because this emptiness. I noticed life as no meaning, or I noticed the meaning of life as nothing but a fantasy. When I noticed a fantasy is a fantasy, I was saved by this. But for me, for music too, I like alternative things, and though level splits sound a bit too much, I could really share a level split, and I think I had a fighting spirit because life has no meaning. I think there are many people who say that there is no meaning to live. Why do I have to live if life has no meaning? But in my case, one thing I can say is there is no meaning to being alive. So it's fine to be alive, right? There is no meaning to live. If there is no meaning to everything, there is no need to make any change. So I think I should just be alive and finish my time. Also, what I newly noticed, but this is a spirit to keep existing without showing even a small fall, because life has no meaning. A spirit to live perfectly. Or this is a very difficult story, but indeed, if life has no meaning, living like this becomes silly. Even so, if you live, the order is reversed, but if you have to live when there is no meaning to live, what is the meaning to live? In the case you have no choice but to make living a rule. I got lucky about that, but the person who found out there is no meaning to live while knowing it, I think that person is very troubled but very wise. It took me 20 years. Even so, if you living is silly, you shouldn't be swallowed by the thought of why do I live when there is no meaning to live. Or you break down and you can't think about each part of life. If you are thinking about why you are living, the order is very strange. If you live although there is no meaning to live, you shouldn't be thinking about it that the order is a bit strange and in the first place, there is a crash at the point where you are living when there is no meaning to live, but looking for meaning of life, having hope or becoming energy is no good either. I haven't said it much until now, but becoming eager is the worst thing for me. I think this is the same for people with depression. Do people with depression give up hope? I think it's a medical thing separate from words like giving up hope. But and I think they give up hope, and at that time on the contrary, contrary, if they become eager, it becomes worse. That's why people who are disappointed or giving up hope shouldn't become eager. There is a bad reaction against it. By the way, telling a person who gave up hope that life is wonderful is a least hopeful thing. And if there is someone who gets saved by that, nothing is more dangerous than that. Because if you say life is so big, wonderful, such good things happen if you are live, there is a meaning. That's just a fantasy. It's just inside the head of the person who is talking, and they are just showing it. It's like an illusion. It's like an illusion. Also, having fun when things are hopeless, I think this is no good either. Even if you have a lot of money, you can't keep going to eat good things, right? I think good no good to do that, but like that, trying to run away from reality, depending on something bad or getting involved with bad people. There must be many people like that. By the way, even just having hope is not good. Having hope that something good might happen. If your life only becomes a short week, but telling a person who gave up hope to look at the emptiness of this world or look at the fact might be different. That's why for me, I'll talk about this later too, because I was in religion for 20 years. The fence was made. Even so, for a person whose story or meaning to live broke down after quitting religion, they can stand it. But was I a person who could live even without meaning to live from the start, or did I live that way in the first place? I was rejecting religion without thinking. Though inside myself, I thought I was serious. But it's that kind of thing, it must be one of them. But because I looked at meaning from 20 years, a big defense must have been made. Living when there is no meaning to live is a crash, right? Even so, being able to keep going without breaking down might be because I kept looking at emptiness. At first, living became tough. There was nothing but fear of the future, and I don't know what kind of tough thing is waiting in life, and I don't know when I'll taste the living as well. But when you stroll with the story completely and see people and things correctly, I don't mean my thought is correct, but the fact come in a sight instead of religion. Fact come in a inside sight instead of a fantasy. Then you start feeling it's fine to be alive. That's completely different from letting yourself go or saying things will go well. I almost broke down after giving up hope too, but these stories are fantasies. I face the fact that stories like hope or giving up hope are all fantasies, or I kept looking at them, staring at them. I stayed with them running away. Then I reached the hope or eagerness as a story too. But thinking it's a living hell or living fear must be a story too. Of course, anxiety is something inside the head, and in the first place, not to mention the feeling here, fear, all those feelings are nothing but a fantasy or that kind of things. You just feel it's fear and fear is tough, and you just think it's living hell. Other animals don't think so. People often say other animals are living hard for what's right in front of them, and humans worry too much. I think that makes sense. This is a interesting twist too, because I threw away the story. I didn't have to touch the story, but giving up hope either. Do you remember? Usually, when you throw away the story, it leads to giving up hope, right? If you think there is no meaning to live, it leads to giving up hope, right? Since giving up hope itself is a story, by throwing away the story, I don't have to touch the story giving up hope either. Also, people in the world can work hard because there is meaning or no meaning. I think that's normal, but in my case, exactly because there is no meaning, I can keep going somehow. I think it's a really strange trait, but because I'm thinking only about the fact that work like my hood, and to say it in a cool way, it's like I'm taming emptiness. That's why making meaning go away from things around event becomes a route and keep going. If there is meaning, if doesn't keep going, also because there is no meaning, I can stay unbroken, and because I don't break, I don't think in a emptiness, which is a twist too. Even if I say I don't think in an emptiness, I don't know whether I'm inside emptiness or well, I'm not raining on emptiness. What stops the breakdown? But the breakdown meaning to go back to the story area was it something like a readiness to live that was important in the end. Once you decide, which is a twist too, even if I say I don't think in an emptiness, I don't know whether I'm inside an emptiness or if I'm not raining on emptiness. What stopped the breakdown was the breakdown meaning to go back to the story area. Was it something like a readiness to live that was important in the end? Once you decide to live, then the readiness to live, also the readiness not to think about extra things, is that what's important. Also living so that such empty thoughts don't think in your mind. That's firm, even if you are stubborn or by force. You have the choice, but keep going to so you don't get swallowed by emptiness. Because I through with the darkness, I reached emptiness without breaking down, which really crushed. But that's how it is. To say it in a different way, because I was made to drink the poison, meaning religion, because I stopped the poison meaning, I can stay calm on at a normal temperature, even inside emptiness. Meaning is a strong drug for me. That's why meaning and emptiness feel like two sides of the same coin. Like I said earlier, that I was saved by emptiness. Some people might be saved by meaning too, but for me, meaning was nothing but a strong drug. That's exactly why I can stand it even inside emptiness. When I was putting meaning in a religion, because I looked for it while having a bad reaction, I could break down meaning, and I found out what kind of things meaning is, and I knew the fear of meaning too, but I closed the exit, rescue myself, and letting yourself go is the way out too. I cut that off too. I'm in the center position, emptiness right in the middle. I keep standing there. I'll say it again. I close the exit to rescue myself. More about feeling going up and down are nothing but noise for me. I threw that way to write, like I talked about the last time. This is like a frame for me, the rave, and first, because it's empty. I don't expect too much, and I don't get anxious. I don't get too anxious. I can throw away the sense of duty too. I can avoid becoming a too much perfectionist. It means I stop breaking down, because trying to be perfect and short, I can keep us steps from daily life without breaking down. Without steps from daily life, I can't live in a emptiness, but because it's empty, I can do steps for daily life. So it's a crash. I thought it can be seen as a rebel spirit earlier, because life has no meaning. There's a drive the rave perfectly. It's the rescue or giving up hope is kind of escape, right? Clearing all of that and keeping standing at the pressure of emptiness. It's harsh. It might be my way of winning against it. The form of victory. Now, next story. This is a story about the bad memory from the past. There was an older person in religion. When I was looking down during meeting, he said to me, "Are you listening to the talk?" But if you compare this to a neighborhood association, if an older guy say, "Are you listening to the talk?" you think it's none of your business to be told that by you, right? In my thought, it might be my way of winning against it. The form of victory now. Next story, this is a story about a bad memory from the past. There was an older person in religion, and when I was looking down during meeting, he said to me, "Are you listening to the talk?" But if you compare this to a neighborhood association, if an older guy says, "Are you listening to the talk?" you think it's none of your business to be told that by you, right? In my thought, I thought I should have said, "Who do you think you are?" Because it's none of his business to be told that. Also, I have complex feeling toward my father, but first, I I want him to know about the bad memory from the past. But after thinking about it for a long time, we manage without breaking the family tie and without avoiding waiting at each other, or couldn't we talk more when I was little? Even if there is such a thing, I was thinking rarely too. This is a bad memory from the past too. No matter what I say, it feels like he doesn't take it at all. It feels like he doesn't listen to people's opinion. That's exactly why my parents are like that, and my mother said she doesn't give a moment to talk. So I think you did the same thing too. It's very annoying. Also, the guy from W, he comes up often. He came up many times, and there's 10 years, but because he said the talk didn't match, I thought I should have said it's sad to say such a thing, just because the answer you want you wanted didn't come back, or expected unexpected answer came back. I'm thinking about various things, but since I think about with that thinking, I forget them. He was a really terrible guy. I wonder what he was really about. Also about the girl. I met her at a bookstore, and because religion, my parent was there, so I just went very quickly without saying goodbye. I did a rude thing then too, and I sent an email later, but I think about that. And also about the guy in the class. He was a good guy and a way but a strange guy. A cousin from my family, maybe he wanted to look back to us while saying it's real thought. He was acting too. I won't say the details, but I wonder why he was acting to look good to me as. Also a guy from a baseball club in elementary school. He wasn't bully, but they were strong-minded guys, and it seems there are various memories from the past too. I wonder if the two teamed up and came to attack me. Also high school teacher, because I didn't face forward. He hit the blackboard and told me to face forward, and that was religion too. I wondered what the teacher said at that time, but he just went and with the class. I was thinking about that. I'm recording various things before when I run out of things to see on YouTube. Anyway, it was killing time. I couldn't kill time, and anyway, every day I was no anxious about the future, and even that time to kill time was taken away from me. Living was tough, but for now, I thought I'll see the videos I wanna see. I didn't think it's rescue, but even that time was taken away, and I couldn't even kill time. And after that, I don't remember what I did. There is still time before I started the blog, and I thought about the many things, and I thought strength training is one thing too. One thing I can say is I stopped looking for fun with things like that. Since humans are animals too, I wonder if we can look for something other than fun. But I switched to that talk path. Also, simply I wanted to make it full. I wanted the full feeling of being alive. That's why strength training was like that, and blogs days were like that too. I didn't need to see the video I wanted to see before. I tried not to be different from others as much as possible. Well, as much as possible, because humans can't live unless they match with others. I wanted people to talk with me, and after all, I'm rarely but more than that. I made it my rule not to change. I don't feel meaning in life, but I wanted to protect at least and not changing. That was the important thing to keep up me alive to live, also not pointing but feelings. I did it with the spirit of looking for but feeling. Now next story. Now I'm thinking about the show name for the podcast too. I actually am able to do what I just said. One thing I can say is stop working from farm with things like that. Since humans are animals too, I wonder if we can look for something other that farm. But I switched to that thought path. Also, simply I wanted to make it full. I want the feeling of being alive. That's why strength training was like that, and the blog days were like that too. I didn't need to see the video I wanted to see. Before I try not to be different from others as much as possible. Well, as much as possible, because humans can't live unless they match with others. I wanted people to talk with me, and after all, I'm lonely. But more than that, I made it my rule not to change. I don't feel meaning in life, but I wanted to protect, at least not changing. That was an important thing to keep up life to live. Also, not avoiding bad things. I did it with spirit of looking for a bad thing. Now, next story. Now, I'm thinking about the show name for the podcast too, and I'm actually able to what I just said. I wonder why I'm looking for a rescue or why I'd hope to, but hope and rescue are still much thinner compared to before. I think right that's doubt. Now about the chicken with gochujang flavor and the cabbage was fresh and the chicken had a very good flavor when eating. Flavor was just right too. Also Chinese cabbage, but today I was thinking about the so I couldn't think about during meal. I'm no good. I care about thinking about each part of life. Also the macaroni salad was delicious too. What was its day? Macaroni wasn't in it, probably olive oil or something was in salt and pepper also yesterday night. I was thinking about the podcast all night, and I was thinking about the show name, but I listened to music during the break, so I have a doubt whether I could do it or not. And in the end, I couldn't decide, and during the day, I made a rule not to cheat, but I slept anyway, so it's annoying. Also, like I said earlier, as a rebellion against emptiness, I thought I'll live perfectly. So instead of becoming messy or lazy, I don't think it's hard work, and I don't push myself too much, but I think I'm living hard. It needs that much work and energy to manage routines. So am I doing something with too much spirit? It's a minimum running. It's a minimum necessary running. I said not making a change area, but it's feeling when you live, you don't know what it's called a change, and also you change by finding out better way. Or there are times when you have to change, and there's no need to be stubborn there. This is a feeling after all. Also, I wonder if there are times when I'm pretending not to see. If I can say I don't change, then that's fine. I think there are parts where I'm fooling myself to, but I must have my own route where I stick to. It's strongly there in my side that wanna be perfect count that the only rescue there is emptiness. There is no need to be perfect in the first place. This world is not perfect, and humans are not perfect too. so I could avoid becoming too much of a perfectionist. Because a problem from birth, right? But honestly, rather than making not changing my rule now, it feels like I became able to do it by doing it without thinking. Long years built up. And to be clear, it feels like it's rule deep in my heart. And usually I don't think about it much. But I don't think about it in a way that it's okay to change either. It's hard point to say I'm recording at night. I don't know if my luck is really bad or what, but this is a story where I thought my luck was bad. And today, really, my body got dry, and there was no need to go wash my hand every time, but really, I wanted to go to the bathroom, and since my parents went to religion and were right, I could go down. First, what I thought was I could go down today, but at that exact time there was no need to go down, and even if I wanted to go to the bathroom, I could stand it. So I stayed on the second floor, and at that exact time I wanted to go to the bathroom when I was very back. It was that timing. So my luck is bad after all. I just noticed also when I was looking up about the member of Snowman for some reason I was moving the whole time. I was kept being moved. He went to a world contest for dance, and it seems he is acting skills too. And he seemed super strict with himself, and he could study well too. There are people with various skills, but this person is a strange charm, so I looked him up and what he said was cool too. It's thought era deep, and as a model, he seemed to be in a company overseas.